I don't know. I feel like you should go first because you're good at this. You're good at making some
No.
shit happen.
Okay, what's the prompt again, Pete? Why? Why are we doing this to us?
You know what? I feel that I love this prompt because it's such it makes you really, really honest with yourself. And then to do that with someone else, and then to do that and share that with the world for someone else to try it. I feel like it's hard, but then it's worth it. And that's why it just came to mind. So I'll go first. Okay. If you really, really knew me, you'd know that I hate being told no. I abhor being told no. It makes me feel like a loser, like a failure, like I have just like I'm failing at life. That's how it makes me feel. I hate, abhor hearing no, even though I also love the challenge of being like, give me some time, I'll prove you wrong. I love a good challenge. So yeah, if you really knew me, you'd know that. Your
Okay.
time.
If you really knew me, if you really knew me, what was the whole prompt again? If you really knew me,
You'd know that.
okay. If you really knew me, you'll know that it took me a long time to stop comparing myself to others. Actually, no, I still do. Like this
I
girl right
was,
here
I
in
was
front
like,
of
you
me.
stopped? I was gonna be like, you stopped? Give me the
No,
menu, please.
no, no. It's something that I had to work very hard on. And it's not something that I can ever stop. And I know up to the moment I take my last breath, I will still end up doing that. But being jealous of other people, comparing myself to other people, asking why is it that other people are better than me, and then going through all of this internal turmoil of finding that voice to actually say, I'm doing all of that because I don't value myself enough. And it was actually through learning to love myself, to value myself, to allow myself to step up, to speak up. Then I'm like, I don't compare myself as much because I'm in the rink. I'm actually in the rink fighting the fight. And as Phoebe was talking about, hearing no's, getting told, feeling that I needed to do my own work to show up better, to practice my skills, to say, hey, you know what, other people are actually a little bit better because they're willing to put in the work, and look what's happening here, to reflect
Mhm.
on that, to say, hey, they're better not because of other things. It's because I'm not doing my own work. I'm not in the rink to fight my fight. And loving myself for realizing that, and then loving myself for being too scared to get into the rink, and then loving myself for actually going into the rink and getting punched in the face and lying down and thinking, holy shit, what did I get myself into? And then getting up again to say yes, and loving myself for taking the next step and the next step. That in itself was the hardest for me. And I'm so proud of where I am now, for being able, because of this journey, I'm able to connect with other women, to have soul sisters like Phoebe, to make connection with other women because I'm not in the comparison mode anymore. And it's a journey, and I'm so glad I took it.
Oh, you know what? I think Trixie wants to tell us what we would know about her. I'm my love. Come on, tell us what you want us to know about you. I think my laptop is about to turn off. Give me a sec. There you go. Um, yeah, if you, well, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. So I think for me, it's first of all, I celebrate you on taking the journey. I feel like if I knew what I know, I don't know that I would have taken this journey, except I cannot imagine my life Yo, if I knew what I know, that this is what it's gonna take, I probably would not have signed up for it. However, now being on it, I cannot imagine my life without it. And so I want to acknowledge you, I want to celebrate you for being willing to take that journey, as lonely as it gets, as long as it is, and really just being willing to keep on going other than just staying there and waiting for change to happen or a miracle to happen, being willing to put in the work. And obviously, as you've come to learn that you're not always going to feel like putting in the work, you're not always going to put in 100. Some days you put in 100, some days you put in like 10. Other days you put in 30, other days you put in like 0.5, and that's okay. And I feel like acknowledging that is key. And
Mm.
so I celebrate you for that. I think we still have, do we have time for one more?
Yeah.
Uh, okay, one more round robin. Okay, if you really knew me, you would know that sometimes I sit and wonder if this is as good as it gets.
Mm.
That maybe I've achieved everything I can achieve, and maybe this is it for me. Maybe my life doesn't get better than it has gotten so far. Being in the space of maybe this is it. But at the same time, I also feel that the day that this becomes it, that's the day I stop living, because it's never it until you don't have any more breath in your lungs, until your heart is no longer beating. The only time that you decide that this is your ceiling, that can only be a self-imposed ceiling, that you decide that this is as good as it gets. But as long as I'm here, I'm willing to keep on pushing that boundary. And some days I push it through getting up at 5 and doing all these amazing things. And some days I push it by alternating between my bed and my couch and just turning off my phone and talking to no one for a whole day. And understanding the counterbalance between all that, I feel like that's something I really want to celebrate, because it hasn't been an easy journey. It's about the self-doubt creeping in. Phoebe, what if this is as good as it gets? And being so aware of that voice to then say it's only as good as it gets if I decide that this is my ceiling for me.
Mm.
But as long as I'm willing to keep showing up every day, to keep taking that one step further every single day, then it can never be that this is as good as it gets.
Mm.
And so if you really knew me, you'd know that. And I feel like I'm also really getting to know me by saying this out loud. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to celebrate you too, because you've been showing up. And even though on hard days, you're even like showing up in your pajamas, and that's all you need. And
Like right now, I have like really short shorts. Yeah, my mom would probably ask me where the rest of them are. She'd be like, "Where are the rest of your shorts?" Because they're like so short, but we still show up.
Mhm. Yeah, it is hard. Um, when you were sharing how if I knew that it was so hard, I would have shown up. It was exactly like that. Like how many times have I said, ignorance is bliss, right? But yeah, like I wouldn't choose it any other way either. It's exactly that. It's
Mm, mm,
like comparing to where I was to where I'm now.
mm, mm.
I wanted to get to where I am now, and looking back, I would never wanted to go back to where I was. And I was
Me, seven.
so proud of myself of getting where I am right now because of me saying yes to me like loving me doing the hard work for me. And you know what? It's freaking like crawling in like hot coal. And yet,
You with the expressions today, my goodness, you're on fire. But okay, I would tell them the other one that you used earlier, but carry on.
and then,
Crawling on
but you know,
cold.
yeah,
Mm.
crawling across a bed of hot coal, but and yet, like I will still do that for me just because it was well worth it. So,
Do it all over again. Now, I don't want to wake up and find it's 2020 again.
no, God,
I do not want to
no, no,
wake up
no, no,
and
no.
find my heart broken again. But I would do it all over again. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, my last round.
Mm.
If you really knew me, you would know that I have no clue what I'm doing.
Like
I
this, my friend.
have no clue what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna like and yet and I think that's the adventurous part inside of me saying, hey, you know what? I have no clue. I'll say yes anyways, and
Mm,
I'll figure it out later. I didn't know what it meant like before. It's like, what do you mean you'll figure it out later? Because before I would always prepare. And even if I go into something new, I will prepare, all because of this one sentence. I always thought I would always expect the worst, hope for the best, but expect the
hope for
worst
the best and expect the worst.
because I didn't want to be disappointed. I hate being disappointed.
Mm,
It's like what Phoebe
expecting to
said,
be fine.
doesn't like to hear no's. I hate to be
Mm,
disappointed. And so that will be my no, my most bottomest no. If, but because when I prepare for it, then it will be a little bit better than the worst case scenario. So I will never get too disappointed. But yeah, going in, I have no idea now what I am going to do, how I'm going to do it. And I trust that I've been learning to trust myself to say, hey, I'm going to figure it out along the way. And whatever my intention is, I knew that it's good. And I know that it will benefit someone. And so showing up anyways, even though I have no idea what I'm doing.
okay, I love that. And what do you want someone who is right there with you, but they look at you and think that you're saying you don't know what you're doing, but you have yourself put together. But I feel like I don't have myself put together. What do I do? Asking for myself and asking for a friend.
Mhm.
But yeah, what would you say to them?
I would say look for someone who is willing to take that step with
Mm,
you. Look for someone, even a person. Maybe you can hire a coach. Maybe you can look for people online. There's Reddit. There are groups. If there's something that you want to do, look for people who are in it already,
it's already.
who is who can see your vision and hold
Mm,
you to that vision. Because when we are
mm,
right here and we want to get right there, we're not there yet. So we are only seeing ourselves like this. And it's really only recently that I believe that I am capable, all because other
mm.
people have been telling me over and over and over again that, hey, Claudia, you're good enough. Hey, Claudia, I know you can do this. And it's all of those voices, repetition of voices throughout a long period of time that I'm like, oh, yeah, now I see it. Now I'm seeing it for the first time in my life. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Expose yourself to people who can coach you into that and um, find yourself amongst the people you want to walk with.
I love that. I love especially that last part because what I was gonna say next was find people who are willing to show up for you, but also show up for themselves as you're willing to show up for you and also show up for them in a space of, are you willing to show up for you? Yes. Are you willing to now show up for the group? Yes. And then now for them, are they already showing up for themselves and are they willing to hold space for you as you are, but also to hold you accountable to who you're becoming? Because again, that's the whole point. We don't just want to be where we are 10 years from today. We want to have evolved, have grown with everything we've been through. It's meant to build us. And so I wanted to obviously celebrate you, my Claudia, because you are the epitome of showing up. I want to kind of tell the people who are watching why you're in Scrubs today and why I'm so happy to see you in Scrubs today. But also to say that I don't like the no excuse kind of mindset bullshit. Can I say bullshit here? But just the fact that you gotta show up, show up, show up. No, but also being willing to push yourself the extra mile and knowing that it's not gonna be convenient. Growth is not convenient. And as Lisa says, your conviction and your convenience don't live on the same block. You cannot have both, right? And you cannot take A and expect to get the results of B. So it's about the willingness to show up and having people who also have that mindset, who are willing to show up as well. And
Mhm.
other than that, you got this. We see you. We love you. And
And with that, I
you
want
go.
to share with everyone that our community event is this Friday night for
Yes.
me, Saturday for Phoebe. We'll be talking about building self-trust. And then next month, we're going to talk about the power of community. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Hope to
going
see you
to
soon. Mwah.